Well, welcome everyone. My name is Dr. Kurt Fisnick. For those of you that are on Facebook and you don't know who I am, my name is Dr. Kurt Fisnick. And every week, every Friday night, we come to you live right here. And really, our whole goal, our whole purpose of this is to help people live happier and healthier lives, stress-free lives if we can. And that's really the purpose of why I got started with what I do. That's why I got into chiropractic, and that's why I work with Sisel, because I find it's an amazing way that we can do that. We can fulfill those goals of helping people healthy lives. So tonight we've got a group of people. We got a panel of people here that are going to share their stories. They're going to share how these products have helped them live healthier and pain-free, and we might even hear some stories of how it helped lower their stress. I don't know. I mean, I don't know exactly what everybody's going to share tonight. This is one of those things where it just kind of can turn crazy on us. We might be here for the next 5 hours. I don't know. But I know there's going to be some great stories that we're going to share, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So, panel, welcome. Thanks for joining me tonight.
Nice to be here.
Nice to be here. Thank you.
Thanks for being here. And yeah, so this is going to be a lot of fun. And so I'm just going to kind of MC this whole thing, this whole circus here. And we're going to start out, 80, and am I pronouncing your name right? Is it 80 or Addie? But you got to unmute yourself. Hang on. You got to unmute yourself.
Okay.
There you go. Is it 80 or Addie?
80.
80. Okay. I did have it right. I didn't want to screw up your name. So, well, welcome to the call. And this is the first time that you've ever given your testimonial live to the whole world.
It certainly is.
You're global. You're hitting every country in the world. So now that I got you nervous and all that, right? So tell us, how long have you been taking the Sisel products?
Oh, I would say just over a month.
Oh, you just got started.
Correct.
Oh, good. Well, what a great way to share the testimonial. So for people who are just really kind of getting familiar with Sisel, I mean, that's a great way to share your story, your first 4 weeks in. So if you want to, I'll hand the microphone over to you. And if you want to tell people what you've noticed in the first 4 weeks of taking the product.
Certainly. Shall I speak now?
Yeah, it's all yours.
Okay. My friend Gert recommended that I try some of the Sisel anti-aging nutritional support, because I've been managing a very aggressive skin cancer gene, not melanoma, but another type of skin cancer, for 25 plus years, using safe products and nutrition. And I've avoided having aggressive surgery, which a lot of people have to have for basal and squamous cell type carcinomas. But the last 2 years, I've suffered from quite painful facial hotspots where there's been build-up of incrustations above my right eyebrow, on my forehead, across the bridge of my nose, and one on the side of my face. So Gert recommended I start on the age pill, and then as a result of attending one of the Sisel Zoom meetups and listening to Tom Mouse Sr. about the release of the new Stemolytic product, which he described as being like a wrecking ball for decaying and toxic cells in the body. I thought, well, if it does that to dying, dead and toxin releasing cells within the body, it might be able to do the same thing for my for these horrible, painful cellular buildups, which were all going crusty on my face and very painful underneath. So I ordered the Stemolytic, read the instructions because I know that's very important. And with Stemolytic, you take 4 tablets on an empty stomach, and you take them every 2 days. So I'd been on the H pill for every day, morning and night, for 2 weeks. I went on to the Stemolytic, and after only 6 days, so that's only 3 nightly uptakes of the Stemolytic, I woke up the next morning and I used the Sisel exfoliating gel, and every single one of these hotspot incrustations just rolled off my face, and underneath there was perfect skin. And previously, when any of these spots, if I'd picked it, this one especially above my brow, when the skin became loose, it would come away, but there would be literally blood and capillary tissue underneath. And the last time it happened, I was so distressed. I thought I'm going to have a really significant surgical excision. So you can imagine my shock when here, I don't know if anyone can see it up close, but it's slightly pink. And for all the ladies here watching this around the world, I have no makeup on apart from some lipstick. So today I've done my Sisel skincare. I also did Katie Larkin's H2 Sticks hydrogenated water facial this morning, and filled my flannel with the entire solution, and then laid on the floor and gave myself a face pack with the H2 stick solution. So that is all I have used this morning on my skin. And for the last 30 years, I would say, I have plastered my face with foundations of various sorts, barrier cream, and then foundation to cover all the scarring, this skin cancer hotspots. So I am absolutely shocked and amazed at how fast the Stemolytic has worked and delivered results for me. So my face is pain-free. I'm continuing to take Stemolytic, so no pain, completely healed tissue underneath, albeit it's a different color, just like it would be if you had, a skin graft. So I've got healthy skin underneath, and I can't thank Tom Mouse Senior and the team of biochemists at Sisel for developing such a phenomenal product.
Wow, what a fantastic testimonial.
Yeah.
You know, for the rest of you guys that are on the panel, thanks for being here tonight, and the call is over. Seriously, that was a great, I can't believe it.
Neither can I, but it's so phenomenal. I just wanted to share it because my father had exactly the same type of skin condition as me, and he suffered in a silent level of constant pain every day with this condition. So for anyone with really, really sensitive skin and who has this, I'm 67. So, it's aging, the natural type of aging and decay of the skin was starting to show, even though I was taking really good nutrition at the time, for the last 25 plus years, everything I could get my hands on, until Gert recommended the Sisel Age pill and then the Stemolytic.
Wow. Hey, Gert, thanks for bringing her to the company. I bet she's got to give you a big welcome when this quarantine is over.
Absolutely.
A big hug. Wow.
Just a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, only a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. That was great.
Wow. Gert, I'm going to let you share your story. If you've got your speaker turned on, turn your speaker off so you don't get that feedback.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Yes.
Bingo.
Ah, wondered.
So I'm going to let you follow. I'm going to let you follow 80 and just give your story. 80, thanks for sharing that. Wow. You just probably helped a gazillion people on the planet.
Yes. So you want me to go now, do you?
Yes, you're up next.
Have you all got lunch and plenty of time? Oh, it's around lunchtime here. Yes, no. The thing about me is that right from round about when I was 14 or 15 years old, I always had a mind for natural things and treating things naturally, and so I've spent my life sort of on that path. So in essence, I have been quite healthy. So I've been in another company taking their products, which has worked very well. And I'll tell you a story where about 20 years ago, my wife and I, we went down to see her mother down in the East Coast, and I got excruciating pains. And it turned out I had a bit of a gallbladder problem, and they put me in hospital. And I'm lying there in the bed with two nurses, and they said to me, okay, they took my blood pressure, and they said, oh, you've got the blood pressure of a teenager. I said, thank you, I love you. And then they proceeded to ask me what medications I was on. And I said, I'm on nothing. Don't tell me lies, they said. You have to be on something at your age. And I thought, yeah, this is the thing, isn't it? If you're a certain age, you must be on some sort of medications. I said, I'm on nothing, absolutely nothing. They didn't believe me, and they actually wrote in the notes that refuses to divulge what he's on. Can you believe that? Anyway, so I've always been mindful of that, and I'll try anything. And so we came along, and I was introduced by Ros Saunders to Sisel, and I'd been saying to Ros, mainly because of Tom Mower, I said to Ros, I must join Sisel, and 6 months later she rang me with trepidation and said, are you ready to join? I said, absolutely. I said, what's taken you so long? So anyway, I got onto the age pill, and like I said, because I've been in pretty good health, it's not made too much of a difference to me, although I feel more energetic. I think I've always slept well, and I sleep, I think, even better now because of the age pill. And TSX and, of course, Stemoletics now. I think they must be helping me to some degree. My fingernails seem to be growing better. My hair grows like mad. In fact, I've always had a reasonable head of hair, and people say to me, your hair's thicker. And I thought, well, it can only be the age pill that's helping that. But the one thing that I like to focus on, because everyone focuses on the age pill and those sorts of things, but the product I like most of all is this one here. Can you see that? Brain Vitality. And I take those regularly, and I reckon they make my brain function much better, much quicker. Thinking on your feet works much better with these tablets. So I like that. The other thing I like, because I'm into the natural things, I think everyone should do a liver cleanse of some sort. So the other pill that I've been on is Super Detox. And I take that now and again. Super Detox really does work well. It cleans your intestinal system out really well. And that in itself will get rid of any potential or actual toxins you've got in your body, which must make you feel better and function better in the long term. A very good product. The other thing that I've been most particular about is Ripped. Now, I didn't know too much about RIPT because I'd only just come in and learning about the products. And I happened to walk past a young guy talking about wanting to build muscle, and he was trying very hard and not getting much success with this product, with his endeavors. Anyway, I went up to him and I talked to him about it, and I said, "So what are you trying to do?" And he told me that he was trying to build muscle and all that sort of thing. And him and his girlfriend had bought nearly $100 pot of some sort of muscle building stuff. And I said to him, "I'll make a deal with you. Don't take anything else. I will give you for free a month's supply of a product called RIPT, but you must take it exactly as it says, and you must not have anything else." Now, it's very, very difficult. I don't know if this picture comes up very well at all, but if you can see, oh yeah, you can see it reasonably well. On one side, that was him. I said, "You must take a photo before," and we couldn't wait 4 weeks. Then we took the photo of him 3 weeks later. And that is an incredible difference in only 3 weeks with this particular product. And he's still on it, and his muscle definition is far better than that is now. So he's very pleased. So this product really does work. It's natural. The other thing that I like it for is the fact that as you get older, you get muscle atrophy. And I think it's a very good product for older people to take as a general nutritional supplement to avoid muscle atrophication. And Kurt and I have discussed this, that it also has some sort of leanings towards helping with better brain function and digestion in older people as well. So that's mine. There we are.
That's an amazing testimonial, and I know you take a lot of the products, and my dad, he took the Brain Vitality, and in 2 weeks, Kurt, he said, "Don't ever let me run out of this product."
Yeah.
That's how good it is. And the study that you're referring to with the muscle building, they actually, it was a grant that was given. It was a $10 million grant that was given by the National Institutes of Aging, and they found that if you can keep your muscle strength up, if you can continue to build muscle throughout your life, it'll slow down the dementia. It'll slow down the neurodegeneration of your brain. Great study. I'm glad you remembered that.
And I think also the other thing too is if you keep muscle tone to a peak, you're less inclined to fall over, trip over, those sorts of things.
You bet. Well, Gert, thanks for sharing, and again, thanks for bringing 80 on board with us too, because that's, and so we have to go back to Roz, and we have to ask Roz, why didn't she get started earlier? Because we would have heard both these stories even earlier.
You would have done.
We wouldn't have heard the 80s because we didn't have that product. But
yes.
Yeah, fantastic.
Okay,
well, thanks
pleasure.
Thanks for joining us. All right. Well, isn't that just fantastic? We can hear stories like that. Let's run up to the North Country. Let's go to Canada, and we'll hear from Rennie up there. Rennie, I know you've had several things that have happened over the years since you've been taking the product. If you want to grab the microphone, and I'll let you jump on stage here.
Well, thank you, Kurt. Nice to see everybody. We're all getting a little bit, what should I say, more natural as the weeks go by with this lockdown. Everybody's hair and nails and everything else. So fun time for sure. I have been using quite a few of the products now for a couple of years. And I must say that I have taken, as of tonight, it'll be 12 evenings that I've taken the Stemolenics, and I must note that I'm losing inches. I haven't weighed myself because that does the number on my head. So, but I'm feeling like I've lost some inches, and so that's sort of a new testimony that I hadn't shared with you since we chatted last. Because what I was going to share was I had a bone density scan that I should have them regularly. I've got small bones, so I'm a dead ringer for osteopenia, which I was diagnosed with some years ago. And because I have always taken care of myself, But the age pill is the product here that has helped me with this. The scan has gone from 5 to 19 on the plus side. So yeah, so I am no longer actually considered having osteopenia. So I mean, that is huge at my age. I mean, 70 is the next one. So you know, I have to be mindful of that. And I mean, I do work out with a trainer, and so that does help, but it's the age pill.
That's a fantastic story right there, Rennie. I know you've got other testimonials that you've shared, and that's a really good one. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
for
you for
sure.
sharing. All right. I see Margot down there raising her hand, so I'm going to bring her on next. How are you doing, Margot? How are things over in Brisbane?
Really good.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us tonight and agreeing to jump on stage and share your story with everyone.
Yeah, I don't have a major thing that's done differently. It's probably for me. I've been on Tom's products for many years, and one of my co-workers is the same age as me, and I'm on no medication. I'm fit, healthy, and she has had a total knee replacement. She feels pain in her second knee, doesn't really want another total knee. I don't wear glasses. I've got really perfect eyesight, and she has to get new glasses all the time. I have for years been saying, you need to be on these products. You need to be on these. And even now, I said when her second knee is starting to feel, she's feeling pain, and like she gets up like this really old lady from her chair. And I said, you need to be on these products. If you don't want a second total knee replacement, you need to look at this. And she keeps saying yes, yes, but never does it. And she knows, they know the difference that this makes in me. And also, as far as teenagers, we don't often, but I've got grandchildren with teenage grandchildren now, and they're starting, you know, they get a few spots. And I said, here, I had one staying over with me last year, and she had some spots on her face. I said, put the toothpaste on those spots overnight. I'm telling you, oh, she said, oh, really? Yes. And I said, yes. And at the same time, you can have an age pill to get rid of that terrible attitude. So I made her have an age pill and put the toothpaste on her face, just on her spot. She could not believe it the next day. And I made her have another age pill that morning because her mum was working up north, so they were staying with us for a few days. And then so that's 2 age pills she'd had. And then that night I told her brother he could have one, and she said to him, "You should. It makes you feel better." And that's just on 2 age pills on a 13-year-old. And
Wow.
she couldn't believe the difference when she got up and saw that nearly all her spots were gone and all of them were well and truly reduced.
What a fantastic story that is. You know, yeah. So many teenagers, they have a hard time following, you know, protocols that we as parents offer them, or, you know, grandparents. So that's just fantastic to be able to hear that. Thank you.
Really, it's such a promising, it's so much attitude with teenagers, but they are going through so much themselves, inner turmoil, stresses that they don't even know about. And the age pill really, really helps them.
All right. Well, and just knowing another use for the toothpaste.
I know. How good is that?
Right.
I took to teenagers. I brought my children up on Tom's, other other company. So we used the toothpaste from that too with my children. My children had no problems with skin problems. That and of course the mouthwash spray.
Yeah. You know, I found a use for regular toothpaste, the Crest and the Colgate. I buff out the chrome bumpers on my cars with it. It works really good. So we have multiple uses for regular toothpaste as well.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Well, Kim, now we're going to go up to you And we're going to have you share your story. I know you've got a number of stories as well, and some fantastic stuff to share with people. So let me bring you up on stage.
Thanks very much for having me this morning, Kurt. It's morning over here and only about 10:30 in the morning. So thank you. I've been a hairdresser all my working life. So my hands have really been put to through a hard time dealing with a lot of the chemicals that we've had in our industry. And even though our industry is really considered to be a feel-good industry, it's actually the chemicals that we deal with are so savage. And I had been for about 25 years, I've used natural therapies, and I've used Tom's products from his previous company, and I've used those all the time. I used to be known as the moisturizer queen because I'd go around all the time putting moisturizer on my arms, my hands, my neck, because a lot of the chemicals that I was still using every day left me with like scalding sort of a look up through my neck and really horrible on my hands. And very dry, and a lot of like bumpy, like almost like would suppose you'd call them like barnacles on the backs of your hands. You know, it was awful. And last September, Marsha Schultz introduced me to the age pill, and honestly, I went off everything. I hadn't been going to any of the natural therapies since the Christmas before, so I just wanted to use what I had been using and see if it would work. But when Marsha shared the age pill with me, I tried that on its own for 3 months. And the difference in my skin was unbelievable. The moisture content of my skin was fantastic. About 3 or 4 weeks into using it, I just felt one day, I thought, I haven't even reached for the moisturizer all day. You know, and that to me was an amazing feeling because, as I said, you know, everybody used to laugh at me. I had moisturizer in my handbag and in the car, and beside the dog food on the dog table where I feed my animals, and, you know, where the washing machine is, everywhere there was moisturizer. So for me to go any number of hours without putting moisturizer on was unheard of, let alone going like a whole day and not thinking about it. So I was very much, very impressed by that. And I then started, well, I've used other products as well. Since then, I've also used the Frecoidin, and I've used the Vital Vision, and I found that those also, I think the Vital Vision, I haven't used it long enough yet to get a huge difference, but I find my eyesight clearer, if I could say it that way. It's not necessarily that I don't need the glasses, but I don't find the fuzzy effect or something in most of the time, even without the glasses. And the other thing I could say is that I love the body shield. My husband was going overseas to work, which he hasn't done because of the coronavirus, but prior to him going, he often, if he gets a smallest cold or anything, it would go onto his chest. So when he was heading off overseas, I specifically got the body shield for him, and he's taken it, and he just said that he found that he got a lot of energy from it. It was amazing. He said to me, I don't know what's in that, but he felt that there was an energy that he got from using that. And also, I just felt like we all have life insurance, but to me, this was the best life insurance that I could have for him and for myself. I felt like I'm being a hairdresser even now through this big C virus that we've got going around. I'm still doing mobile hairdressing because I do work with people who are shut in or handicapped. That's more of a niche market that I concentrate on. And those people are extremely vulnerable in this situation at the moment. And I feel so much better knowing that I have covered myself for not getting anything like that. And that's why I really look at it as better than any life insurance that I could ever get anywhere and pay for. This is it. It's wonderful. So I love everything I've taken. And I know my husband's really happy with what he's using.
Wow. What a fantastic story, you know, and for your husband, I mean, just kind of explain why the Body Shield probably works for him. You know, I've done a couple conference calls on Body Shield even before this whole virus thing popped up, and we discovered that the fulvic acid protects us against this virus. But it pulls out heavy metals, toxic heavy metals like lead and mercury and radiation, and it helps to rebuild the gut lining. Fulvic acid is so excellent for that. So when you put your husband on, probably the reason that he was having such a great response, every time you fly, you go up in the air, you get closer to the sun, and they show that when you get closer to the sun, you're getting all that solar radiation. And they've shown that the Body Shield helps protect you against that. So even just that one particular reason to take it, it helps with that.
Unbelievable. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm thrilled with it. And I think too, one of the reasons I started taking the Body Shield fairly after I'd been on the age pill for 3 months was because I did hear in one of your talks that you said that it took away or helped to remove the heavy metals. And that's what I felt with that. And, you know, basically just good the probiotics and those sorts of things helped my gut to heal and helped to remove some of the toxins from as well. With the age pill, there was no wonder that my skin was feeling better and is feeling much, much better all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. And all those moisturizers you use, probably in all reality, if you go look at it, you'd probably discover that it was actually drying out your skin and not actually moisturizing it anyhow. So
well, luckily for me, I had used a lot of all of the lovely products that Tom had really produced along the way. So I'd stuck with them forever because I knew that was one thing. I knew he'd had put his signature into that because he'd actually, you know, made those originally, and I stuck with that. And I thought, no, I'll use what I know. And when I was introduced to all of these, I was just so excited to have Tom and all of his knowledge back into my life, because I hadn't had that for a while, and it was really, really exciting. I love everything that he's ever done, and I can just see that he's still got the same passion that he had for everything that he's done and everything he is doing from here on for the future. It just like as if he's like a kid, he just bounces like a kid at a party. He just constantly wants to have a great time sharing and making everybody well.
You bet. Well, Kim, thanks for sharing. I'm going to go out to, I know Katie is sitting there with Bob. So, Katie, I'm going to try and unmute you here. There you go.
Actually,
okay.
I'm still just working with Bob because I think I'll need him to change rooms so that he doesn't get the call coming through. Hang on a second.
Okay. I'll go out to Carmel then. Kim, thanks for sharing those stories. A fantastic story. We'll go out to Carmel and Carmel, you're also over there in Australia, and you know, so we got a lot of people from Australia tonight sharing their story. Tell us a little bit about, you know, I know you got started with Sisel a couple of years ago, and you were at a couple meetings that I did last year in 2019, and then you were at the presentations this year in 2020. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you've noticed.
Well, I've been taking the products for probably about 18 months now. I love every product that I've taken, but my story was a lot of health issues began for me when I broke my back about almost 7 years ago now. And it took me about 5 years of trialing different therapies, different treatments with the osteo, chiro, acupuncture, psychologist, naturopath, doctor. I had a lot of pain. I was actually worried that I was becoming addicted to painkillers because I found that I was on endone for more than 12 months and I really wanted to come off endone. So then I went on to some other painkillers and I felt that whenever I take them, it was actually creating more pain in my body. So I then had to go into doing my own research into finding out what was causing all this pain. And I got onto following medical medium actually, and he was recommending ingredients like cat's claw and ashwagandha and monolaurin and a lot of other lovely ingredients that I started to take, and I did notice the benefits. But my true healing began when I was introduced to Sisel, because I found, 5 years of my own research and not getting anywhere, it led into depression. So that was really difficult to get on top of. So when I was introduced to Sisel, I did start taking Brain Vitality, which I found really good for depression. But after breaking my back, my legs didn't work very well, and I had trouble walking. And it was sort of like every step I took, my legs were really heavy, and I stopped doing walking with friends and just walking anywhere because my leg muscles just didn't work. But I found when I started taking Ripped, that really helped my legs, and I can now walk with a spring in my step, and I feel like I can now get up on a chair to change a light bulb, and I can walk up sand dunes, and I can get back to my normal walking now, whereas it had taken me 5 years to get to that point. So I really love the Rich, I really love the Brain Vitality, and I really love the Avenger, because when I looked into the ingredients in the Avenger, it had all the ingredients in it that I had been researching anyway, because somewhere along the line I realized that I had some sort of viral activity happening in my body that was creating a lot of pain. So seeing the ingredients in Avenger excited me. But I think also that was when I met Marsha at one of the talks up in Brisbane. I wanted to hear her story, and she told me about the MS because I started to feel like I was developing MS with my legs, and it was really worrying me. And she said that's to do with gut issues. So I went down, had a coffee with her, and she put me onto a gut protocol. So I got into the Balance D and the detox and other things that she suggested to me as well. And it just helped my pain go away a lot more. So I guess I'd always known that gut issues are the underlying cause of a lot of problems. So once I got on to working on my gut, and of course I do the detox and the Balance D, and I take the Ripped, I take the Avenger, I do the Body Shield. I love them all, but I think it's hard to choose a favourite, but I think the Ripped has definitely helped with my legs. The Avenger, I'd had another problem. I've had so many problems, but another problem was I'd had this chronic cough also for over about 5 years. And I'd had asthmatic tests done, I'd had blood tests done, I'd had ultrasounds and different tests. Nobody could find anything wrong. And both the doctor and the naturopath said that that must be my weak spot and I might just have to learn to deal with it. But I didn't believe that. I knew there had to be something that could help. So anyway, I've proved them wrong. I've gotten rid of my cough. I knew there was a way, and I'm just so happy with my journey.
Wow. You've got some fantastic stuff going on. I mean, for all the different things that happened to you with your legs and your back and all of that, to come back and be here amongst us sharing that story, crazy.
I know. I'm very lucky, and I know it has been. I'd always bought a lot of products anyway, So instead of buying my bottle of Cat's Claw, my bottle of Monoloran, my bottle of other things, I buy the Avenger to replace it. I used to take magnesium anyway, so I take the Brain Vitality. I just swapped over, and that helped me a lot because when I had my chronic cough, I used to dread going to bed because I knew I'd be coughing all night and I couldn't lay down. and I'd have to prop myself up on about 5 pillows. And I couldn't go to the cinema because I knew I'd be coughing watching a movie. So that cough just stopped me from doing a lot of things as well.
Well, thanks for sharing that tonight. You know, right now with this virus thing, people need to know especially how to keep away those viruses. So thank you for sharing that. Well, let's try and go out to Katie now again, and we'll see. Have you gotten that all worked out with Bob?
Well, we've got Bob on the phone, so yeah, we'll let him share his testimonial. Hopefully everyone can hear.
Hello, Kurt. Can you hear me, Kurt?
I hear you loud and clear, Bob.
God bless you. That's wonderful. I'm so excited about what's happened to me since Helen Botha and Lynn Anderson from Adelaide got me back involved with mighty Tom Mao. I've been involved with Tom for a long time in his previous company, and I nearly died. Back in 2003, I was mixing with horses and that, and I got a disease in my lungs, which I think is similar to what everyone's having problems with now, and it was called mycoplasma. And I'd near died. I was in the Albury private hospital for 10 days. But early, my late wife, she fed me Tom Mao's previous products. And to cut a long story short, I walked out of that hospital and Dr. Bartholomew said to me, Bob, I don't know what you've done, but he said, I've had 7 people come into this hospital and none of them have walked out. You're the first bloke to walk out of this hospital. Thank you, Tom Mao. But then he disappeared for a while, and then I couldn't find what to do. I was a bit lost because we were very passionate about Tom Mao and his previous company. And then Lil Anderson rang me up one day and she said, you can get back with Tom. And I said, how do I do that? And since then, I've been with him for 132 days. I've taken the AIDS pill, I've taken the brain vitality, and all I'm taking, I'll just show, I'll probably hold this up, but I take all these, and that's the 3rd page I've taken where I tick off every day what I'm taking. So I'm not going in hard, I'm going in full Monty. I went out to Woolworths the other day to get my stores, and they said, you've got to, for anyone that's over 70, you've got to go and between 7 o'clock and 8 o'clock in the morning. And I got out there, and the security man pulled me aside. He said, hang on, mate, come back at 8 o'clock. I said, what do you mean? He said, these are what you're only allowed in here between, if you're over 70. I said, mate, I'll be 75 in August.
Wow.
He said, what? I'll need proof of that. So I had to get your license out. Thank you, Tom Mao again. Because I do believe, and since I met you, Kurt, in Sydney, and that was another blessing. But if you notice my chin, I was going pretty white and a bit like yours. And the barber said to me, he said, Bob, what the hell are you doing? And I said, what do you mean, what am I doing? I'm living a life. And he said, you certainly are. But he said, since you last cut your hair, your beard's going dark again. And if you have a look at my beard, it's still white a bit. But I'll bet you what, I'm getting brown, blacker and blacker every day. And I just believe I'm on all these tablets, and I'm still playing the golf. I'm still going out, and a lot of people, my biggest bugbear with all this, it's nothing to do with Sisel, and it's nothing to do with me, and it's nothing to do with his previous company, but it's the reputation that, unfortunately, out here we've had bushfires, we've had drought, now we've got this other flipping problem, the Chinese problem, and now we've got to beat the negativity. And I love positivity. I don't move anywhere without positive. Every negative attitude's got a positive other side of it. And I love finding that positive side of it. And that's what I found with Tom Mao. And I think it was Kim earlier on, and I'm going to use this. I think it's the best thing I've heard since in this whole, there's been a lot of good stuff, but what Kim said is I'm going out to flog, one of the points I'm going to use that she said, it's a life insurance. And, you know, you pay a fortune for life insurance, and really you get nothing if you live right through. And then you don't get it either because it's your predecessors get it. So that's all good to have. But if you can have life insurance while you're alive, why not have it? Oh, I think it's a wonderful gift. I'm going to play on that for sure. What else? I've lost weight. I've increased my energy. I sleep like one of my problems, I've got to set the alarm clock now. I'll sleep like a top. And I've had a few issues. My blood pressure's back to normal. I had aches and pains in my muscles, especially after I played 18 holes of golf. And my mate that I plays with, he said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Well, you won't believe me if I tell you." I said, "I'm a pill popper." He said, "Oh, you're not on drugs, are you?" I said, "No, I'm not on drugs. I'm on natural health." And I went to Israel in November and I had to go and have some vaccinations, which I hate with a pest. And I said to the girl, she said, "Now we're going to have to do some, a bit like someone else was talking about, I think it was GERD. What tablets are you on?" I said, "Nothing." She said, "You've got to be at your age. You've got to be on something." I said, "I'm sorry, I'm not on anything." "What's your sugar levels?" I said, "Nothing." "Good." "What's your PSA?" I said, "Good." Anyhow, she said, "I'm going to have to give an exam on you before I can give you any vaccination." So she gave me an examination and I ticked all the boxes. And she said, "You're amazing." I said, "No, I'm not amazing." I said, "What I'm dealing with is amazing." I said, "You are people." I said, "I can't criticise you people as doctors because you're trained to be curing. I've been trained to prevent." And I do believe that we really want to prevent, and the doctors will have the pressure taken off them. And if we can prevent this blooming, I don't like calling it whatever they call it, it's not that, it's been set up, but I'm not getting to that, that's political. But I just thank you for the opportunity, Katie, and I'm on fire.
That's fabulous testimonial. Thank you so much, Bob. That's wonderful.
Wow, that's fantastic. You know, I got to just tell you this story. When I was in Sydney in February, I went and sat down to have a hamburger before the meeting, and just a little bite before I ate. And I saw this guy sitting across the way, sitting across the bar, and he was looking at me, and I'm thinking, well, what did I do? Spill some ketchup on my shirt or something like that? And as this guy comes walking over, it was Bob, and he says, "Are you Dr. Fisnick?" And I said yes, and he introduced himself to me and told me the story here at 75, where most people his age are going into retirement homes and things like that. He's walking, I don't remember how many holes of golf you're doing every single day. And on top of that, at 75, you started a new business. That's fantastic.
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah. Thanks, Kate.
Thank you.
I haven't been able to convince too many people at this stage. I've been too flippant. I'm too excited, and I frighten people away. So I've got to moderate myself. Quieten down.
There you go.
I hate ignorance and I hate negativity, and I get a lot of that at the moment because of what we've been through. And there's a lot of people out here, and money's going to be a bit of an issue. But I want to come back later on another 6 months and show you my black beard.
Yes.
God bless
There you go.
Fantastic.
I noticed in a photo from February till April that my beard is the whiteness is starting to go away as well. I put the two photos on Facebook and I just said, "Does anybody notice any difference?" And I had about 10 comments, people saying, "Oh, you're putting coloring in your hair," and things like that. And one guy said, "Oh, you got some grease in your beard." And I said, "Well, thanks for all the comments." And I just said, now I'll take the photos off and I'll wait 6 months and I'll put them back up there. So let's you and I just kind of watch that and see what happens. Thank you.
Well, I like Ada's comments about her skin too, because I lived in the bush all my life, 54 years out west of Hay in Western New South Wales, and I lived in the sun, and I had a lot of these sunspots on me. But since I've been using some of the oil up here, one on the forehead, it's gone. I've got some on the back of my hands; they're all going, and I do believe that my friend Vicky, who I got registered, she's using her facial cosmetic things. Kate's talked to Vicky. I think she's been a bit of a hard nut because she's been an old medico, and she's got wonderful results with the skin products. And again, Ada, I'll be passing your messages on to her too, because she's quite excited about it. But she said, "I couldn't sell anything to anyone." I said, "You don't sell anything to anyone. It's a matter of introducing people to something that's fantastic. And I said, take the word sell out of everything you say, because that's not going to work. If you tell people you're going to sell them something, they'll be run away 100 miles. So I'm working on that. I'm working on positivity, not negativity. And again, thank you all. And I really enjoyed every one of your testimonials. It's been good. And I'm loving this.
Thank you. Thanks, Bob.
Thanks, Bob. You know, Katie, I know you've been involved with Sisel for quite a long time. Why don't you share a little bit of story? How did you get involved with it? You know, and what you've noticed since you've been on the products, and then we'll run out to Marcia and finish up the call.
We've also got Kay. She's on the line. I sent you a text, Dr. Kurt. She's
Okay.
She's there.
Well, you share your story, and I'll look for Kay.
Sure. So actually, if I go back quite a long way, my story started. I got involved with Tom in the first instance because I was looking for products that didn't contain any harmful ingredients. Someone left a toxic guide in a gym and I found it. And the reason I was concerned about that is because my father actually developed early onset Alzheimer's at the age of 54 years of age. So he was pretty young. And by 56, he was in a nursing home with 80-year-olds. And boy, if that doesn't grab your attention and make you think, wow, I need to be doing everything I can to prevent all this, you know, terrible disease and illness, then I guess nothing will. But that certainly started me on my journey, and it started just from there. And then I looked into nutrition because I wasn't really aware that, you know, our soils are depleted, and that if they're depleted, we're not going to get it in our food that we're eating. So that started me there. And then I did reconnect with Tom back around, it was actually around 2012, I think it was. And I was like you, Dr. Kurt, I was really interested in the TSX product because telomeres are really critical for aging. And given my father's situation, of course, and I don't want to end up like that, I fell in love with the longevity products, and it's just continued on from there. But when I was first shown, I had no interest at all. And in the business, I was just interested in the product. But as you can hear, everyone's stories on the call tonight, how could you not want to share this with others and at least get your products, earn your products for free? So that's just a little bit about my story. And of course, I've had great results with the Sisel products. The age pill is probably my favorite at the moment. I think it's excellent for pain relief. I do suffer quite a bit of back pain in that. And when you take the age pill and you get a little bit of a niacin flush, I find that it really does relieve aches and pains. So that's a little short testimonial there. Oh, you're muted.
What a great testimonial. And I know, you know, with what happened with your father, I've heard the story. I mean, that's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing that we got to tell people is that, you know, there's something that you can do to prevent these diseases from coming on. You don't wait until you're sick and then go, oh my God, what am I going to do about it? You look at your family history. That's the easiest way. You go, okay, grandpa had this. I don't want that, so I'm going to take this. But now with genetic tests, I know you're going to have a SNP test done here. Probably already did it.
Yeah, I've done it.
And it tells you why grandma and grandpa had what they had. So now you've actually got a piece of paper that tells you what you can do to prevent it. So when you get that done and that, it'll be interesting for you to share that on a story, on a call with us.
We could do a call for sure.
Yeah. So, well, I noticed your friend Kay, she jumped back off. So I'm going to run out to Marcia, and I'm going to unmute Marcia. Marcia, I know your camera's shut off, so I don't know if you're just not ready to be on the call tonight, but I'm going to throw you under the bus, I guess, is what I got told last week.
Hi, hang on. Oh yeah, I'm not muted. Okay. I wasn't really prepared with a testimonial, but I'm always very happy to give one. So most of you know that I suffered really severe autoimmune for 7 years, and I went to several doctors, just like Carmel. I was in a lot of pain. I had a lot of really severe health issues, including ongoing insomnia and chronic fatigue and full body pain every single day, headaches, which ended up turning into, I ended up getting bladder incontinence, and I was like 43. So I knew something was really wrong, and I kept going back to my doctor and having blood tests, and, you know, most of them were kind of relatively normal, but didn't really come back with anything really severe. So then I was introduced to the age pill with Roz, and I was very, very happy to to try something natural because I always wanted to try something natural. And I just didn't really know what to take, to be honest. And within 8 weeks, I was back at full-time work. So I was at the start when I started taking it, I was barely able to stand for more than 20 minutes without starting to shake really badly and having to sit down. And then it would take me several hours, 3 to 4 hours, if not the full day, to recover. And that's just from standing or going to get the groceries or doing the washing or just general life duties. So yeah, within 8 weeks of taking the age pill, and I took a double dose immediately. So I took 6 tablets in the morning and 6 at night. I was back at full-time work. I had lots of energy. My cognitive function came back. My memory loss was no more. I was able to have conversations again with people. Prior to that, I had really socially isolated myself because I found it difficult to have conversations with people. I had lost a lot of weight because I'd been lying on the lounge for 5 years and I couldn't really move or do much, of course. So I started taking Sisel ripped as well, about probably 6 months after taking the age pill. And the reason for that mainly was because I couldn't afford it. You know, financially it had ruined me. Being sick for so long, I'd spent so much money on doctors and, you know, natural therapists. I think I counted about 15 one time that I had visited for any type of relief. You know, during all this, I also went to see a chiropractor, Kurt, and he's quite, how do I explain this? His method is way beyond that of being a chiropractor. He's the way that he works with emotional trauma from the past, which is also a huge contributor to autoimmune as well. So I've been working with him on that. So, you know, autoimmune really needs to be attacked from all angles, I suppose. So anyway, taking the ripped has really given me that muscle definition back, and I'm now able to, you know, walk again. So it wasn't that long ago that I was very happy to be able to share on my Facebook page that I had walked 10,000 steps in one day, which is something that I had not been able to do for, gosh, several years. So that was really exciting. And then I think it was about a month or two ago, I actually did a short jog for the first time. So all of this is because of the Sisel products and the gut health, you know, situation that I had to address, because that's all a big part of our illnesses as well. And yeah, I've taken the Super Omega Plus, which is something that you suggested that I add to my regime as well, Kurt, and that's been really, really beneficial. I think that really helped with the cognitive function and being able to have conversations again. Yeah, so that's my testimonial. That's about all I can think of. I think that's probably enough. But yeah, if you have anybody with any type of autoimmune issues, talk to us. You know, that's the best thing about this company and the products, is that you meet so many people who are willing to help and have knowledge and experience, and you know, you can listen on the testimonials, and it's just the best thing ever. I think everybody should do this. You know, we're all helping each other. Everybody wants to help one another. So I think this is just the best thing that I've ever come across in my life. And I'm looking forward now to making it a full-time interest. I'm very busy working towards doing that, so I can have the lifestyle I want, get my finances back on track, and not have a job. So I still need it, and I appreciate it, and I love my job. But yeah, this is something that I definitely want to make, you know, full-time interest. Thanks, Kurt.
Yeah. Well, thank you. And with your enthusiasm, I know that this is going to be a major part of your life. I know I'll see you here in the business for a long, long time.
Yes.
Yeah, so I remember hearing your story when I came down to Brisbane 2 years ago, and fantastic. So, yeah. Well, let's run over to Kay. Thanks for sharing that with us. And let's go to Kay here. And hang on one second. I'm going to unmute her.
Okay.
Kay, can you hear me all right?
Yes, can you hear me?
I do. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing very well. I'm very, very tired because I started on this great Stemolytic product back Thursday, the day before Good Friday, before Easter. And I've been taking notes of what's actually my system, because I haven't been clinically diagnosed, but I have motor neurone, and I'm run by the system over in Australia. So I was taking the age pill, which I came across Dr. Ross Harty, and he put me on that, and pretty much most of the time all my symptoms had gone. He got me out of my bed. I've had a lot of challenges with my health right throughout my life. So I thought, well, I'll order the Stemlec and see how I go and take notes. So I took 4. I felt very relaxed, and then I eliminated a lot of built up waste in my system in the toilet. And very tired.
Little technical difficulty there with your microphone, but
Oh, is there?
yeah, keep going though. We're catching most of it.
Okay, all right. And then I decided, now how am I going to remember, because I do have a bit of memory loss with my condition, to take it. And I thought, well, okay, it's you take it one day and don't take it the next day. So I thought, okay, let's look at it that I take it Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and have Saturday and Sunday off. So that meant that Good Friday I didn't take it, Saturday, Sunday I didn't take it. So Monday I thought, well, I'll give myself another go at taking 4 tablets. And I found that it just was too much for me. So last Wednesday I decided that I'm going to drop myself down to 1, 3 times a week. So I took 1 on Wednesday, last Wednesday, and I found that that was quite good. And by about, let's have a look at my notes, I think it was Thursday, I'd stopped the really dark urine, but I was drinking a lot of water and just resting till it became clear, and then it'd become dark again. But I found that I was okay on the 1, so I didn't take any on the Thursday. And then Friday, which was yesterday, I took another 1, and I actually felt quite normal for me. So I've decided that, you know, and then I'll have Saturday, Sunday off, and I'll start my Monday, Wednesday, Friday next week. And I'll see how I feel after the weekend, whether I start on 1 or I up it to 2. But I'm going to see how I go by taking the 1, 2 and upping it till I get to the 4. But at the moment, I'm finding that I'm extremely tired. So I'm pretty much doing nothing, but I'm feeling like, wow, this is working so fantastically within a week. It's amazing results.
All right. Well, thanks for sharing your story. I mean, that's fantastic. You start seeing results that quickly, and you know, that's the thing, is that a lot of people, I think they hear us telling people that, hey, these products really work, and it's almost like Bob said, you know, you don't want to sell the product. And that's what people think you're trying to do. And so then a call like this that we can share, and we've got all 10 of these great testimonials that we can share. I mean, you look at 80s, and she jumped off, but I wanted to ask her if she's related to the Bee Gees, right, with the same last name. Katie, is she related to the Bee Gees? Give me a thumbs up if she is. Andy and Barry Gibb? No? Okay. Anyhow, I was going to ask her that because of her last name. But you hear these stories and you think of the people that just really need to hear these stories.
Yeah.
Every single person on the planet could enjoy better health if they knew what we had here. So,
Definitely.
So for all of you that came and joined and jumped on and shared your story, thank you. Thank you for being here. I unmuted all of you, and for those of you that are attending and watching and listening, thanks for being here. And remember, you know, this is a business about helping other people, and you're gonna do it anyhow. I mean, when you meet somebody that has health problems, you're gonna try and help them. Why not do it with your own store, with your own business?
Yeah.
So
And
thanks,
Dr.
everyone.
Kurt, we've got a call tomorrow. So Ian Chabelle's put together a fantastic presentation on nature's powerful immune supporting molecule. So if you've got people you'd like to invite to that, that is a perfect presentation to invite people to open their mind up to natural ingredients that can support the immune system. And that's on at 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock p.m. or a.m.?
4 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. So it's in the Sisel World team, and I'll repost it again today. So definitely worth inviting people to, especially because, you know, people need to be considering their immune system all the time. And, you know, with what's going on in that, we want to be looking for natural things that we can do. And this presentation has just been put together so well. So I really encourage people to jump on.
Okay, and that'll be on Zoom?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, thanks everyone, and make sure, and Ian does a great presentation. You know, he's got an analytical mind, so he puts together in a way that it really makes sense. So for all of you that have joined us tonight, again, thank you for being here. If you guys all want to say goodbye and close out the call, you're all unmuted.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kurt. Thank you, Kim and Carmel.
Yeah.
Great.
Bye.